medication adherence is really important. Can you share any challenges that oncology patients and providers face day after day?
Absolutely. I think one of the key challenges is really the amount of communication streams that are coming at these patients. You have a patient who was just diagnosed with an oncology-related condition. Oftentimes it's not easy to take in a lot of information and retain that information in a valuable manner after that type of diagnosis. But then you have the sheer number of touch points and outreaches that these patients are receiving. They may be receiving communication from the hub. They may be receiving communication from their physician and their nurse at the physician's office. They're receiving communications from the specialty pharmacy. They might be receiving communications from a patient support program that the manufacturer offers. They might be having to fill out paperwork for patient assistance. And then you have the health plan might have their own targeted outreach for those conditions as well. So the patients are really under siege, I think, and I think that that's an area where specialty pharmacy can again sort of be that coordinator and quarterback. And I think as an industry as a whole, we can probably do a better job of communicating cross-functionally to ensure that patients are receiving appropriate and targeted outreaches, but not feeling overloaded or overwhelmed.
I agree. I mean, especially with oncology patients, when there's so many unknowns, they may be receiving radiation therapy along with their oral oncolytics. They may have need for surgery. Hospitalization is definitely something that they deal with during their journey. All those things can affect the adherence and their compliance to their medications. So understanding and assigning a quarterback or kind of putting a management team together saying that here's the person or organization that's going to manage the whole picture and how everyone plays their part, I think is important.
I think that's, understanding patient call fatigue is extremely important. Even working with the manufacturers up to a year, 18 months before expected launch to help them to understand all avenues of where that drug is being distributed. We have a great example of being able to work with 2 manufacturers, a hub, and 5 specialty pharmacies, being able to cooperate, this independent panel being able to meet patient need and actually coming together, sitting around the table to walk through that patient journey, to be able to troubleshoot challenges even before the drug was approved. So there are some excellent examples in the space of stakeholder collaboration.
Just to take another step on that, given that there's so many calls and so many opportunities for a high-touch administration of an oncology population, what solution is available to help reduce that adherence issue with that oncology population? And I know you do a lot of work in that space.
We do. Again, it starts with education of the patient, understanding, what they retained from their diagnosis and what they bring forward, understanding what's going on with them as far as, their caregivers, also their financial situation. So there are, as far as the touch points that specialty brings into that patient's journey, it's multifaceted to be able to assist the patient. When we talk a little bit more about understanding not only the emotional, financial, treatment aspects, we also then look at all of the therapy that the patient is on. One of the accrediting standards from URAC has to do with looking at all of the medications that the patient is on. So concomitant previous therapies, and keeping a medication profile on file for all of these comorbidities to be able to assist the patient in the journey. And then having that information available to the clinicians 24/7. So when our pharmacists receive the phone call and it's 2 a.m., then they quickly understand what the patient's challenges could be.
And to follow up on that, I think the other key role that a specialty pharmacist can play is knowing when to triage. when to offer home care solution, particular home solutions, patient care solutions, but also knowing when to triage and inform their physician or their prescriber what's going on, if there is a severe adverse reaction or a severe comorbidity that has developed. Really having that expertise and the ability to know when to triage that type of patient is really very important as well.